Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start the revision of our chapter The Road to Independence 1. The first topic is the greatest British debate, Indian should we stay or leave. After the Independence War in 1857, all politicians, academics and writers put their views for or against British rules. In 4.2, Benjamin has written, it has been shown that there never was a jewel in the crown of England that was so truly costly as possession of India. The next topic is the growth of Indian nationalism. In the years after the war, graduates emerged from British-style universities in India to find that there were few jobs for them in the ICS and Indian civil services. Instead, they turned to careers in law, journalism, and teaching. These young middle-class people now wanted a partnership with the British in running the country. British, however, had no intention for this thing. The next topic is the founding of Indian National Congress. British educated people began Indian National Congress, which was founded in 1885 by Allen O. Hume, a retired British government official who helped by several English-educated Indian intellectuals. The Viceroy of that time, Lord Dufferin, was in favor of the Congress, feeling that it might provide a safety valve for the dissatisfactions of Indians. However, most British people in India either believed the Congress to be a microscopic minority or thought its members disloyal to British rule. In the meeting, say to British, there were few points, have more Indian representative on legislative council, have more support for education, introduction to Indian civil service, entrance examination in India as well as Britain so that Indian could sit them easily. Take less money from India. The meeting conducted in English, held once in a year, more resembled those of a debating society than a political party. Later, Congress put forward idea of India as a state of independent of British rule. The next topic is Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and position of Muslims. After the loss of independence in 1857, Muslim declined in every aspect of life, like socially, politically, religiously, and economically. In 1707, when the last Mughal Empire Aurangzeb died, Muslims saw themselves in the second-class citizens. In 1830, the loss of Muslim power speeded up when Persian ceased to be official language. In 1871, 773 Indians working in government in Bengal. On 93 were Muslims. Few Muslims take advantage of the Western education offered by the British. Next topic is Sir Syed's efforts to improve the position of Muslims. Many people at the time believed that Muslims had failed to take advantage of opportunities available to them. The family of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan had been respected Mughal officials. After a good education of Sir Syed joined the services of British in 1838, at a time when a very few Muslims did so. He rose to high rank and some Muslims blamed him for being too loyal to the British. Sir Syed was convinced that Muslims could improve their position if they took two steps. Number one, build a better relationship with the British. Number two, reform their educational systems. Next topic is the founding of Aligarh University. Sir Syed decided to set up a Muslim university. In 1869, he travelled to England to study its university system, visiting Oxford and Cambridge Whilst there, he carried out research to complete his famous book, Essays on the Life of Muhammad and Subjects Subsidiary thereto. Sir Syed was greatly impressed with the social, scientific, economic and educational progress of England. He founded that Mohammedan Anglo-oriented college at Aligarh, which later became a university in 1920. The foundation of stone was laid in 1877 by the Viceroy of the time, Lord Lytton. There were two departments, one teaching in English, the other in Urdu. The college became the center of the Aligarh movement, and its students have great influence. Many future leaders like Liaquat Ali Khan and Ayub Khan were studied over there. Next topic is Sir Syed changes his mind. In the beginning, Sir Syed believed that Hindu and Muslim should live together as one nation. But later on, he realized that Hindu and Muslims should remain quite separate. He discouraged Muslims to joining Congress, believing that the British would blame any violence caused by Congress on Muslims, as had happened in the war in 1857. He founded a scientific society which translated scientific writing into Urdu in 1886. He set up the Mohammedan Educational Conference. Next topic is murder of a viceroy. Sir Syed received encouragement from Viceroy Lord Mayo in setting up the Aligarh College. Lord Mayo also set up Chiefs College at Ajmer, Rajkot and Lahore to educate the sons of Indian princes and rulers. In addition, Lord Mayo reformed the prison system, and it was on an 1872 visit to the Andaman Island in the Bay of Bengal, island used for keeping prisoners, that the viceroy was murdered. Muslim alternatives to Hindu-style nationalism. Many Muslims were like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, cautious about getting involved with Congress. The first Congress meeting had attracted only 2 Muslims, and the number who attended over the coming years remained very small. This is because Muslims became increasingly uneasy as Hindus had begun to organize themselves into political groups. Congress often appeared to support Hindus rather than Muslims, and Muslims feared Hindus would make trouble for them. For example, by objecting to the killing of cows, the Urdu language seemed threatened when in 1867 Hindu called for government to make Hindi the official language instead. They feared the growing strength of Hindu nationalism. Next topic is the Congress becomes nationalistic. In 1890s, British rule was becoming increasingly high-handed. Militant Indian groups were starting up, and soon a strong nationalistic group known as extremists became powerful within the Congress. Extremists were mostly Hindu and were led by together with Vipin Chandra Pal and Lala Rajpat. Extremists demanded an end to colonial rule. They wanted British out of the India and want independence. Tilak encouraged Hindus to look back to pre-British times, Hindus and Marathas' history for inspiration in achieving a new India. Next topic is the partition of Bengal. Lord Curzon, Viceroy from 1899 till 1905, helped strengthen nationalism. He decided that Bengal was too big for the British to administer properly, so in 1905 it is split into East Bengal and West Bengal. West Bengal contained 42 million Hindus and 12 million Muslims, while East Bengal had 12 million Hindus and 18 million Muslims. Muslims became happy as East Bengal would be a Muslim majority area. Tilak called for Bengal to be reunited. He said that people should boycott British goods. British trade was damaged. So in 1906, Tilak made another proposal, that is passive resistance. People should stop cooperating with British. British dropped Tilak to Burma, where he was imprisoned for 6 years. A group of young people influenced by Tilak started terrorist movement, killing some British officials working for British. British took firm action that captured and imprisoned the Andaman Islands. Next topic is 3 steps on the road to the creation of Pakistan. Number 1. The Simla Deputation. British assured Muslims that the partition of Bengal was permanent. Even so, Muslims feared that the British might give it to Hindu demands to reunite it. Muslims, although a large group, were in the minority. They felt that their position was weak and they had no political voice. In 1905, the government in British changed and the Liberal Party came to power. Its policy was to increase the democracy in India through elections. Muslims knew that because of the Hindus were in the majority, they would win the election. In October 1906, a group of leaders representing Muslims traveled to Simla to see the Viceroy Lord Minto. The group was headed by Aga Khan, the Imam of the Nazari Ismaili sect, and including Mohsinul Mulk and Justice Shahdeen. This event is called Shimla Deputation. They asked him to give more power by making sure they had their own representatives in elections. Lord Minto agreed to these requests. The deputation improved Muslim and British relationship. It also prepared the way for the creation of Muslim League. Number 2. The forming of Muslim League. In 1906, All India Muslim League was founded. At the first meeting in Dhaka, a resolution stated the League's aim to encourage Muslims to be loyal to British government, to protect the political interest of Muslims, to improve understanding between Muslims and other communities. The first president of Muslim League was Sir Aga Khan from 1908 till 1930. Number 3. The Morley-Minto reforms. With the forming of the Muslim League, both Hindus and Muslims had political organizations. There was great pressure on the British government to pay attention to Indian demands. In 1909, Lord Morley, Secretary of State of India, and the Viceroy Lord Minto decided a program of reforms. These included the promise of future self-government for India and a new voting system which helped minorities such as Muslim and Sikhs. Now Muslim representatives on government councils were elected by Muslims. Although more Indians sat in government councils, the British still had no intention to giving them any real power. The councils allowed Indians to express their opinions and give advice, but the government did not have to act on the advices. In 1911 and 1912, 2 events took place, which destroyed Muslim hope raised by the Simla Deputation. Number 1. In 1911, on his visit to India, King George V announced to reuniting the Bengal. The British were widely seen as having given in a pressure from Hindus, and Muslims were very disappointed. In 1912, the Balkan Wars began in Eastern Europe. The British fought against the Muslim Turkey, and Indian Muslims saw this as further evidence that British were against them. This led Muslims to believe that British would never give them any real political power. As a result, in 1930, the Muslim League began to press for self-government for India. Since they felt they could be no longer trust the British government, the League started negotiation with the Congress. Next topic is the First World War, which was started in 1914 till 1918. The Greater War. Around the war. The First World War began to the Europe in July 1914 with the declaration of war by Austria-Hungary on Serbia. It continued until November 1918. Germany declared war on Russia in August 1914. Eventually, the war spread to involve 32 nations around the world, including United States, Middle East, and most of the Europe. The main conflict between Central Power and the Allies. The Central Power were defeated all for Greater Imperial Dynasty fall. Next topic is causes of the war. The initial dispute between Austria-Hungary and Serbia was sparked off by the assassination of Archduke Franz the heir to the Austrian throne by a Serbian nationalism. In Europe had grown nationalistic. The French Revolution and conquest of Napoleon spread in the idea of democracy. People believed that those who shared race, language, and political idea had the right to form an independent state. Economic rivalry. The Industrial Revolution had caused compilation among European countries. This caused conflict between these three countries after 1898. Military expenses. European countries felt threatened. They began to increase the size of the military forces. Next topic is civilian involvement in the war. Battle took place in the Balkans and Middle East. Both the Allies and Central Power had colonies in Africa, Asia, and the Americas, so the war spread to these areas. The British Empire soldiers fought for the Allies in France, and the Indians fought in the France and Mesopotamia. This war involved civil areas. First time cities were bombed from the air. Next topic, why was the war so deadly? Machine guns fired 600 bullets per minute with the range of 900 meters. Trench warfare was developed to avoid enemy bullets. Life was unpleasant in the trenches. In April 1950, Germany released chlorine gas in France at the Allied troops. Then Germany developed a new gas, phosgene, which was more deadly than chlorine. A new weapon, the tank invented by British, and 49 were used in France in 1916. Next topic is development in the air and the sea. Britain had just 63 planes at the beginning of the war. Unarmed aircraft used only for watching enemy lands. Then crews of enemy planes began to fire at each other with handguns. Germany used 30 huge Zeppelin airships, each 150 meters long, to carry out bombing raids on Britain. Submarines were used widely for the first time. German U-boats were highly successful in early 1917. For example, they sank 470 enemy ships in 3 months. Next topic is World War I leads to World War II. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the Allied powers signed a ceasefire agreement with Germany. The First World War, called the war to end all wars, was over. However, it was not to be the war to end all wars. The treaties made at the end of it were not properly enforced by the Allies, and Germany soon began to rearm and show signs of extreme nationalism. 20 years later, in 1939, the Second World War broke out. Some historians believe that the two wars were actually one war with a long interval. Next, German attack in India. In 1913, Karl von Müller became captain of German warship, the Amden. Müller went to India auction to attack Allied trading ships. Over the next 12 weeks, Amden sank 14 British ships. German warship had 3 funnels, but British had 4. Müller added a fake funnel made of wood to the Amden to make the British think that she was a British ship. He allowed crewmen to leave a ship before sinking it. On September 22nd, Amden entered Madras harbour. Before British prepared the guns, Amden opened the fire. Her shells hit 2 large oil tanks. Massive explosions sent thick black smoke in the air. In November, Amden was supported near Australia. Australian warship the Sydney shelled the Amden for 90 minutes until it sank. 141 of the 325 men on board were killed, but one Müller survived. The rise of communism. Communism, a system in which property is owned by the state rather than the individual citizen. In 17th century, Russia is ruled by Romanov family. In 1914, the king or Tsar was Nicholas II, and he and his family were close to royal family of Europe. His wife and he were grandchildren of Queen Victoria and first cousins of British Emperor V. In 1848, 2 German Marx and Engels had written the Communist Manifesto, which set out the idea of communism. In March 1917, there was a revolution in Russia. Riots broke out in St. Petersburg, and he was forced to abdicate. The theorists of Marx and Engels called the Bolsheviks. He wanted to turn Russia in communist country. They believed that to do so, Russia must stop fighting with the Germany. Germany allowed the excited leader via Vladimir Ilyich Lenin pass into Russia on a special train, April 1917. He made the peace with Germany in April 1918. Russian Empire became known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, and communism survived there until 1991. Next, Jinnah, who was founder of Pakistan, born in Karachi on December 25, 1876. The son of a prosperous merchant, he is also called Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who attended the Sindh Madrasa High School at the age of 16. He passed the examination, entered the University of Bombay, and his father decided to send him for England to gain business experience. Shortly before Jinnah went to England, his parents arranged a marriage for him. In London, Jinnah decided to take up a legal career. He also studied a British political system, visiting the House of Commons to watch the government in action. Here he learned to admire the British political system. Jinnah, the famous lawyer. After several difficult years, Jinnah rose to become a brilliant lawyer. At one time, the highest earning lawyer in India. He became famous across the subcontinent for his legal skills, his sense of justice, attention to the details, and incorruptibility. People also remarked on his honesty and plain speaking. Jinnah was a good-looking man. He wore expensive suits and two-tone shoes. He never wore the same ties twice in a court. Next topic is Jinnah and the Lucknow Pact. In 1910, he was elected to the Indian Legislative Council in Delhi and became a highly respected member. Worked as an ambassador of Hindu-Muslim community. In 1913, he joined Muslim League. In 1915, due to Jinnah interference, Congress and Muslim League set up joint council to discuss the important issues. The meeting of both the Congress and Muslim League was held at Lucknow. This pact united Muslim League and Congress and gave them a list of requests to present to the British government. In 1917, two Home Rule League campaigns across India launched by Tilak and other Annie Besant. In 1917, British imprisoned Annie Besant, but releases in August after a public outcry in which Jinnah took part. In 1917, after her release, she was elected as a Congress president. Montagu Declaration and after. The Secretary of the State for India, Lord Montagu, made declaration 1917 by British. British declaration that they accept Indians taking part in the responsible government. Lord Montagu and Viceroy Lord toured India at this time and they met Jinnah as well. 1919, a year of death and unrest. In 1919, Government of India Act came into force. It gave voting rights to above 5 million Indian men. It set up law-making council in each province. Indians were given more sets on these than the British. Some areas of government, for example, health, education, agriculture, could be controlled by Indians. Important areas of taxation, police and law court were controlled by British. Congress and Muslim League disappointed with the new act. In 1918, a serious disease, influenza outbreak in many parts of the world. A pandemic began in the United States and spread to Western Europe by American soldiers. It killed about 30 million people worldwide. In 1990, the flu arrived in some continent, causing at least 1 to 12,50,000 people. In the same year, there was a poor harvest, goods became expensive, and unrest grew among the people. Let's go to the worksheet now. Please read all these questions. Number 1, why was Lord different in favor of Congress? Number 2, why did Muslims had less government jobs in later 19th century according to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan? Number 3, who decided to split Bengal into two? Number 4, who were Bolsheviks? What did they want? Please go through all these topics thoroughly. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.